across the country has found its way heading back east. Liberty in San Antonio to end a season-high 5-game road swing and try to finish it 3-2. That's the task here in San Antonio, and that's what a win would mean on the floor here at the AT&T Center. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz, glad to be alongside a familiar face. Sweet V from the top of the key. Vera Jones joining us back here on MSG for the next couple of games. Let's get you caught up on the road trip. 2-2, it's been very successful. Wins at Los Angeles and at Phoenix. Let's also get you caught up on the Eastern Conference Player of the Week. That's Shamika Christian, who has been outstanding on this road trip.
Well, she's from Hot Springs, Arkansas, so she knows how to heat it up, and she's been doing just that, coming off a 25-point effort. She's been lighting up from all over the floor, and that's what makes her so good and also so consistent. Her ability to stop and pop, she's got great range. Again, she finds herself in the corner, and how do you defend when she has so many different weapons in her arsenal? The ability to get to the basket and create, and if you step outside for too long, she takes you down onto the block. In the post, hard to stop. She is very, very tough to defend, and she is making a huge difference for this New York Liberty team.
She's been the leading scorer for the team all season, but over the last 6 games, 22 points a game, and look at the number there in the middle. 58% from beyond the arc, part of the Eastern Conference Player of the Week, the reason she was named that for the first time. And Shamika joining us here on MSG. Shamika, is there just a confidence that you're feeling now that maybe you haven't felt in your career before?
No, just going out, relaxing and playing. My teammates as well as my coaches, been actually everybody from the top, been very positive, doing a lot of shooting with the coaches. And so, feeling really great.
Familiar faces, obviously, in the backcourt, and Becky Hammond and Vicki Johnson in this game. A very interesting dynamic, but obviously you have to make adjustments to keep them. They're averaging 20 points per game. How do you stop that?
It's important just to keep the ball in front of us. Becky is definitely a crafty player, and VJ, she's a very good player as well. But however, it's going to come down to defense, just, contain those two and make sure that they don't, get everybody else going as well as them going off as well.
All right, thank you very much, Shamika. Have a good game.
All right, Shamika Christian obviously knows Becky Hammond very well, as does the rest of the Liberty. And every time they come to San Antonio now, that means seeing Becky Hammond the night before, getting to do dinner with Becky. But of course, that means having to guard her as well. How do they do that?
Very interesting, because a lot of people are saying Becky Hammond's game is down a little bit. She's only averaging about 34-35% in terms of her field goal percentage. However, she is such a tough little player. Her ability to create is probably one of the best in the WNBA. She can get into the key, but most importantly, she does have that stroke from behind the arc, about 35% from there. She is a bona fide go-to player. The ability to set up other players is also part of her arsenal. And again, Becky Hammond, they'll set her up off double staggers. They're always looking to get the ball in her hands. New York knows this because she did it for them.
Absolutely, and she's coming off a season-high 28 points in the win Sunday against Washington this year. Numbers, as you said, down a little bit in terms of points and assists, but still the leader in free throws in the league. And last year against New York, she did it to them, not for them, at 20 points per game in the 2 San Antonio wins. Meanwhile, she's not the only one, though, that is a former member of the Liberty here in San Antonio. The other VJ, Vicki Johnson, one of 4 active players who has played all 12 WNBA seasons. She'll be in the starting lineup. One of the players, Lori Moore, will have to guard since returning from her injury and back to the starting lineup. You see her numbers, points down, assists way up, a 2-to-1 assist turnover ratio. Meanwhile, Sophia Young, one of the best young players in the WNBA, 7th in the league in scoring. She'll shoot a lot, she'll make a lot. So too will Janelle McCarville. She has been good all season long. Her numbers continue to go up. Tip coming up next.
I got good news. Putting you in my fave 5.
This is real?
Yep. You in, baby.
Call me anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah, I watched the game from last night. Yes, sir.
You got to pass the ball more.
Now, I'm really in the middle of something.
I don't want to look too fat in high definition. You ever been to Amsterdam? That's why I don't eat shrimp. I want to come visit because I am really bored.
What is it, Chuck? What, Chuck? Hey, Chuck.
Call me back. We got a lot to talk about.
Who's in your Fave 5? My fave's from T-Mobile. Unlimited calls to your 5 favorite people.
If you're fed up with the pump, then meet Chevy's MVPs of MPG. Aveo, HHR, and Cobalt XFE, to name a few. Chevy, 8 models that offer an EPA-estimated 30 miles per gallon highway or better. Get the fuel-efficient 2008 Chevy Cobalt XFE starting at $15,070. Find your nearest dealer on ChevyOffers.com.
New York Liberty Basketball is presented by American Express. Are you a card member?
Glad you could be with us in the Alamo City, San Antonio, Texas, for what is officially the start of the second half of the season for Patty Coyle's team. Game 18 of a 34-game season and the end of a 5-game road trip. It finishes up here in San Antonio. The Liberty above 500 at 9-8. Here's the starting lineup. Christian McCarville, Crayville up front, Lori Moore, and Essence Carson in the backcourt.
The X factor there, Crayville, keep an eye on her, 6'4", a bona fide three-point shooter.
Dan Hughes, the head coach of San Antonio. It's his 4th year here with the Silver Stars. Last year, the first winning season in San Antonio. Busher, Waters, and Young up front, and the former Liberty in the backcourt, Hammond and Vicki Johnson, and Ann Waters, of course, another member of the Liberty, or another former member of the Liberty. She's set to tip it off with Catherine Crayville here. The official, Scott Twardowski, Tony Dawkins, and Lamont Simpson. And underway here, San Antonio has won 3 straight over the Liberty. And overall on this season, the Silver Stars working on a 4-game winning streak. Carson right away. Jumper from the corner, it's off, and Busher tracks down the board. Vera, what's your key to the game tonight?
Well, key to the game always rebounds. Rebounds equal possessions, and both of these teams like to put the ball up quite a bit. The ability to get a hold of the boards and control is going to be important, and tempo is also going to be very, very important in this game. Who's going to establish what?
And somebody's going to have to guard Ann Waters, who has been very difficult to guard all season. One of the top 20 scorers in the WNBA, back in the league after a 2-year absence. There, the block. Waters comes away with it. Hammond looking to push, tried to find Johnson. Instead, it's Waters on top. 2-0 early going, nearly a minute in. There's Waters, the cut. The rebound, Sophia Young, blocked away by Crayville.
Good fight, and of course, Crayville not known to be a shot blocker, but defense so important.
What a look from Carson to Moore, who just muscled it up and in.
And how easy when you're getting transition baskets. Don't give this team an opportunity to set up defensively. New York looking to push on every opportunity they can.
And that's something Dan Hughes has preached this season with San Antonio, is we will not allow fast break points, but the first bucket for the Liberty comes in transition. Sophia Young, the leading scorer for San Antonio, has her first bucket, and the Silver Stars up by a deuce.
I can tell you right now, that's going to be a tough matchup down on the block. Sophia Young, 18 points per game, very agile and athletic down on the block.
That's good enough for 7th in the league. Crayville tries to answer. McCarville, the offensive rebound, and a fresh 24 for the Liberty.
And again, maximizing possessions. Very critical. Look at Christian to the basket.
So aggressive, up with the 2 and ties it up. Her first bucket for the reigning Eastern Conference Player of the Week.
Once upon a time, the 2004 SEC Player of the Year. You don't come across that if you're shy. She likes to get the basketball and go to the basket.
That's what you used to do.
Yeah, I never saw a shot I didn't like.
Shamika's been very confident of late. 58% from beyond the arc the last 6 games. Crayville has the mismatch on Hammond. Nothing but net, and the Liberty on top for the first time in the early going.
I think it would behoove New York as much as possible to isolate that mismatch, especially when they're switching on screens. Go ahead and find Crayville in the corner.
Hammond continues her hot stroke. San Antonio won in Washington on Sunday by 8 points. Becky Hammond and Sophia Young scored the last 24. Essence Carson with her first bucket. So we're trading bucket for bucket here in the early going.
Talk about Hammond and Young for the Silver Stars team. They account for 40% of the field goal attempts. So you can pretty much figure the basketball is going to be in one of their hands.
And then you add Ann Waters to that. You're at 58% of the team's attempts. Crayville right through the lane with the finger roll scoop.
How about a finger roll from the free throw line? Now that's new and improved. Good look, and again, notice the tempo for New York. They're pushing the basketball. They're not relying on that half-court set. They want to get out and try to look for the easy buckets.
Is that a tempo you'd like to see against San Antonio all game long? Busher gets the roll and gets the three.
I think as long as they can get away with it. San Antonio has the athleticism, but certainly there's some places where New York can take advantage of their size as well as their quickness.
Both teams hot shooting from the start. The Liberty 5 of 8, San Antonio 4 of 8. Christian in the lane. She's off the mark. Vicki Johnson still a tremendous rebounder here in her 12th year in the league.
Vicki Johnson, one of the smallest guards, or one of the smallest players on the floor at that guard position, but yes, a dynamic rebounder for sure.
The follow there on Janelle McCarville.
And again, McCarville not known necessarily for shot blocking. And here's a good look. How about Cravo with the handle and the scoop, the finger roll. Like that tempo for New York. Again, if they can consistently keep that up and keep this Silver Stars team on their heels, they have a good chance of winning this basketball game.
The foul was actually called on Shamika Christian. Erin Busher missed the first. She actually hasn't scored a point the last 2 games, playing plenty of minutes. So there's her first point in the last 3 games, although she's been averaging well over 20 minutes per contest. 11-10 San Antonio, nearing the halfway point of the first quarter. Glad you could be with us on MSG. Jason Horowitz, Vera Jones here from the AT&T Center. Carson with 5 to shoot, driving baseline, fights it up. She can't get the roll. McCarville knocks it out of bounds, and it'll go San Antonio's direction.
And New York doing a good job of getting on the offensive glass. Has not been their specialty thus far on the season, but when they can get in and, like I said, maximize those attempts in the paint. McCarville getting touches, Cravo in there rebounding. They're going to do well.
Liberty's point total has certainly gone up this season. Last year, not one of the best offensive teams. Hammond strokes a 3. This year, they are up there at nearly 80 points per game. And on this West Coast swing, you had 89 against Los Angeles. You had above 90 against Phoenix. They are scoring a lot more points. Shamika Christian, a big part of it. Lori Moore trying to get on track. Waters just grabs the rebound, but took too many steps trying to get it to Vicki Johnson.
You mentioned Lori Moore getting that look in the corner. That actually got set up just because of the penetration. The penetration and kick, another healthy weapon for this New York Liberty team. Moore's ability to knock down the shot, though, is what's in question.
Now, on this road trip, Lori Moore certainly struggled from the floor, but her assists have been phenomenal. 26 assists in 4 games. Grayville for 3. That's off the mark, but look at McCarville.
Great hustle.
Look at the hustle, absolutely, and another offensive rebound. That's the 3rd here in the first 5-10. Carson down into McCarville. Great hands from Hammond, comes away with the steal. Quickly up ahead to Busher, all the way ahead of the pack for 2.
Like I said, establishing tempo. Both teams won't mind one bit if they're getting those easy looks. Little cherry picking going on. Who wants to play defense?
Now Vicki Johnson steps in the lane. Can she beat Crayville down the lane? Yes, she can for 2 more.
12 years in the league, and she still got it.
And a timeout, Patty Coyle. San Antonio on 11-0 run, and actually doing just that. Fast break points, getting out on the break, and pushing the ball quickly. Vicki Johnson, her 12th year in the league. Look at the pass up to Erin Busher, and an 18-10 advantage here in the first quarter.
Hey, Bill. How's it going?
What is that?
It's my new bike and the amazing protection plan I got for it.
There's an easier way to protect your motorcycle. Call Geico. They insure all types of vehicles.
Geico Power Sports. Insurance for your car and the other stuff that moves you.
This is a call from the Crave. You know what this is about. White Castle bacon cheeseburgers, chicken sandwiches, jalapeno cheeseburgers, or get the original steam grilled slider at a great price. You know you want to. You just got a call from the Crave. Don't just sit there. Answer it.
This Sunday on MSG, 5 boroughs, 16 musicians, just one superstar. New York subway musicians chase their dreams on NYC soundtracks. A new series coming Sunday night at 8 o'clock only on MSG. Glad you could be with us here in San Antonio, the end of a 5-game road trip, one that started 12 days ago, June 27th. 5 cities, Sacramento to San Antonio, nearly 6,800 miles. But the most important point to this, Vera, is the fact that they could leave this road trip with an above 500 record.
And they would do it with a win tonight over the team that's in first place in the Western Conference. How much of a confidence boost is that?
And they've already beaten the team Patty Coyle's squad has that's in second place in the Western Conference, that being Los Angeles. A game that was in the middle of this road trip. They were down 11 points to start the fourth quarter and scored a franchise best 38 points in a quarter. Leilani Mitchell, a big part of that. Shamika Christian as well. The foul on the floor on Ann Waters. But down early here to San Antonio, the second best home team in the WNBA, 9-1 here at the AT&T Center for Dan Hughes. And that one loss was in overtime to Houston, a game that they lost on a last-second shot. So a very tough place to play here in Texas. Carson wide open on the wing, 7 to shoot, one-on-one with Vicki Johnson. Puts it up, it's off the iron, and there's Vicki Johnson, another rebound.
Carson looking a little bit tentative there. She has the ability to stroke that, but she waited, almost looking for a better shot. Take the open one.
Young on Cravell, gets the contact that actually helped her get space. Too strong on the shot, quickly up ahead to Christian.
Cravell, a greatly improved rebounder, something that New York really needed.
Christian switches hands into the lane too hard, her own board. Look at Carson save it off Ann Waters, and it'll stay with New York.
One of the things about Shamika Christian is she has such an awesome ability to get into the paint. You see Carson with the great hustle. Out of bounds, heads up play.
Ruth Riley checks into the ball game for the first time. Ann Waters back in the WNBA after a 2-year absence. To the bench for the first time. There's Carson off the out-of-bounds play, and that's exactly what you were talking about.
Again, patience. Take the shot right away. Sometimes you look for that better shot. You're waiting for it, and it just doesn't come.
Carson 2 of 5, 4 points here in the first quarter. It's a 6-point deficit. Riley, she can shoot that. Too strong, though, and more with the rebound.
New York, again, picking and choosing their times to run, but the main thing is they grab that ball, get it out of the net immediately, so at least they have the option for a transition look.
2-man game, McCarville and Carson going to work over Riley, puts it up and in.
I just like her game. I just do.
There's not much not to like about what Janelle McCarville does on the basketball floor.
And you think about how young she still is in this league, her size and her ability to create with that size, just awesome.
Just her 4th year, remember last season's most improved player. 7 to shoot for Becky Hammond, already with 6 points in the ball game, now down to 4.
They're locking Hammond up, that's great defense.
And that's gonna be a shot clock violation. As you said it, the block. And no chance for Riley to get the shot off.
You know, Shamika Christian talked about earlier the emphasis on defense, and you definitely feel it.
Tiffany Jackson into the ball game for the first time and back in her home state for the 2nd year. Remember, a native of Longview, Texas, about 6 hours from here, near the Dallas area. Her family is here, and Tiffany has certainly been playing well, not only on this road trip, but all season long. Very improved for New York. Carson fights it up. Riley fights Jackson for the rebound. Just look in the eyes of Becky Hammond as she goes down the floor. She is looking at the rim every time she crosses midcourt.
She's a pure scorer, not just a pure shooter. She is determined. She's got that scorer's mentality. No one knows it better than New York.
Knocked out of bounds off the head of Sophia Young. So the Liberty will get the ball back down 4. They were down 18-10. They've scored 4 points since the break. Under 2 to go here in the first quarter.
More Cravel, Christian, Jackson, and Carson, the 5 on the floor for the Liberty. Jackson, foot on the line, but strokes it anyway.
This entire New York Liberty team with the green light, taking the available shots. That's what's going to make them very, very tough to defend.
And that's something she has added to her game since her days at Texas. She didn't have the 18-footer when she was at Texas. Busher on Christian, up and under. That's no good, and a 6-0 run, a chance for the Liberty to tie it or take the lead.
Christian pushing. And again, there's that penetrating kick. They like to get into the key and then find the open player out there in the corner. More penetration and kicking.
Oh, Jackson aggressive with the right hand. Case in point, absolutely. The drive and kick and then the drive again. And a timeout for Dan Hughes. So New York has answered San Antonio's 11-0 run with an 8-0 run of its own to tie things up at 18 here in the first quarter. And Tiffany Jackson off the bench, Vera, has been a spark.
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
she is for real.
Nice move to the basket. And again, she's got a little versatility to her game too. And this is what you were talking about. The confidence of stroking that 18-footer. Sooner or later, she'll get more confidence to take one step back and get that extra point.
When you look at this and see what Tiffany Jackson has done, in the first 10 games, she only took 16 free throws. But lately, the last 7 games, she has taken 32 free throws. What does that tell you about what she's done?
Well, it's all about assertiveness. Again, here's a look at her, those long horns. Just a monster on the glass.
Playing there for Jody Conrad before she retired, and the 5th overall pick for the Liberty. She had the game around the basket, but as we've seen here tonight, and you'll take a look at her mom.
Mom's in town.
Absolutely. Josephine had not, sitting actually right behind the Liberty bench, so a good seat for her, and has gotten a good view of what her daughter has been doing in New York all season. 50% from the floor this year for Tiffany Jackson.
You tend to play better when you know mom's sitting up there.
You have to. You can't let her down. 8-0 run, Jackson, the last 4 points, that over the last 2.5 here in the first quarter. Under a minute to go in the first 10 minutes, and it has certainly been a very exciting start to this basketball game. Up and down early. San Antonio settled into an 11-0 run. New York has answered with an 8-0 run of its own. And Helen Darling, the veteran from Penn State, into the game to run the point here for San Antonio. Young, turnaround jumper, can't get it to go, but the foul underneath on Jackson, and that'll send Young to the free throw line.
Actually, good move to get Jackson in there, even though Sophia Young got her shot up, but she's got a little more size down there, and she has equal athleticism. So defensively, she can make some things happen.
Young misses the first. The Detroit Shock come to the Garden to take on the Liberty. That's this Saturday night at 7:30. Reserve the edge of your seat for the matchup. Tickets available online or at nyliberty.com or by calling 877-WNBA. Takes over, of course, at the Garden box office. That's the defending Eastern Conference champs with their first visit to the Garden this season.
You know, I think I'm going to go with that game, Jason.
That'll be a good one. The Liberty, the Shock tonight taking on Connecticut as the battle of 1 versus 2 in the Eastern Conference. Willis steps back.
That's just pretty Halle Berry-like.
But she was in Los Angeles with the rest of the team visiting home, and she has also been so good from beyond the arc. 45%.
Yeah, sure. And again, we throw these numbers out and toss them around, but that's just something that you don't see that often.
Well, let's not forget, we're going to give Lisa Willis her Halle Berry moment later on at halftime. We're going to see what she could do with a camera when we gave it to her when she went home, part of the West Coast trip, what happened in the day of the life at home for Lisa Willis. Shot clock, game clock down to 1. Battle, who's fresh into the game, tried to get it up, couldn't get it on rim. But we're all knotted up, 21 apiece in a very entertaining first quarter from San Antonio.
Selling your car, truck, or motorcycle can be a nightmare. Big Bucks Auto, it's easy. Call 888-44-BUCKS or go to BigBucksAuto.com. Drive in for your free cash appraisal. We'll buy your car within 20 minutes, even if it's leased or financed. We do all the paperwork. It's simple. No costly ads or psychos coming to your home. No bait and switch trade-ins and not knowing what you're really getting for your car. Don't sell or trade your vehicle until you call Big Bucks Auto. 888-44-BUCKS.
If you or your family have been devastated by serious injury or death, or you've lost your husband in a workplace accident, here's a first for New York women. Kramer and Dunleavy, the first New York State women-owned law firm that puts your issues first.
As attorneys, our mission is to protect women's health and safety.
And first and foremost, to obtain civil justice for women.
Kramer and Dunleavy, for women first. Call 1-877-WOMAN-LAW.
Do you suffer from painful, irritating hemorrhoids? You are not alone. 80% of Americans suffer from hemorrhoids. Now you can join the thousands who have found immediate relief with a painless, non-surgical treatment that doesn't put you out of commission, requires no anesthesia, and produces immediate relief from the bleeding, itching, and discomfort associated with hemorrhoids. The Hemorrhoid Relief Center's doctors utilize new state-of-the-art technology that will get you back to work the same day. This simple in-office procedure can start changing your life. Don't suffer any longer. Call and schedule an appointment today.
Baseball's biggest bats slug it out for the long ball crown in the final season in the house that Ruth built. The 2008 State Farm Home Run Derby, Monday, July 14th at 8 on ESPN and ESPN HD.
ESPN, serving sports fans around the world.
Brought to you locally by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. On the web at searchmercedes.com.
LA was stop number 2 on this road trip, but for Lisa Willis and Lori Moore, it was a homecoming. Gave Lisa Willis a camera, and well, she gets the behind-the-scenes access that we can't get unless we're with the players. So we'll show you that at halftime, see what it was like for Lisa Willis going home to Long Beach. She'll show us her favorite places in Los Angeles. That coming up at halftime. Meanwhile, we're knotted up at 21 here. Lisa Willis knocked down a 3, the last bucket, and the Liberty scored on 5 of their last 7 possessions and finished the quarter here on an 11-3 run. You can see what else is coming up at halftime. The other side of Essence Carson, we've talked about her talents this year as well, not only on the basketball court, but of course musically. We'll talk about that, show you her roots at Rosa Parks High School in Patterson. And of course, highlights and stats and the best analysis of the first half. Of course, that's all coming up, but we got 10 more minutes of basketball here in the second quarter underway from San Antonio. Wholesale changes for both teams. The Liberty on the full court press. Mitchell, Jackson, Battle, McCarville, and Willis, the 5 on the floor for New York. It's Darling, Riley, Waters back in, Marenicki, Atun-Riche, and Edwige Lawson-Wade, the 5 for San Antonio.
It's good ball movement.
Absolutely, they use all the clock. Jackson the rebound off the miss from Helen Darling, not known as a three-point shooter.
Applaud that defensive effort because San Antonio definitely whipped that ball around the perimeter and did a really good job of executing the offense. But again, good defense from New York.
Where are you looking for the Liberty to go offensively here?
Well, they can continue to go inside. That's not a bad place. Caught McCarville on that one a little bit off balance. But again, the penetration and the kick has been very, very good for them. They've had those opportunities, just have to knock down more perimeter shots.
Darling left open, spots up. Missed that one. Waters chases it down. No rim on the shot, so it didn't reset, did the clock. Down to 5. Darling tried to go baseline. Took too many steps, looking for Waters, couldn't get it to her, so turnover number 4 for San Antonio.
Helen Darling has always gotten my award for most amazing WNBA player, the ability to have triplets and return to the league. My kid is 10 and I'm still not in shape.
She is in her 8th year.
That's
absolutely. A starter for most of her career on and off. Lisa Willis, another 3, that one short, and there's Waters for the board. Lawson-Wade into the lane, had it knocked away, and Willis regathers and gets it herself and starts for the Liberty. Jackson through the hole, out there's the penetration.
Penetration and kick, and again, the ability to knock down those shots, however, because they absolutely are getting them by drawing the defense into the paint.
And McCarville knocks it away, keeps it, but there's Darling. Waters is open under the basket, Jackson there, Waters with a turnaround, no. So after the hot start to the first quarter, nobody has scored here in the second, 2 minutes through.
Well, New York struggling to finish from the perimeter. And just there, Silver Star struggling to finish in the key.
And Waters was so on the mark in Washington on Sunday. Was 8 of 11 from the floor. And Carvel, too many steps.
Well, it was a nice look with the up fake, but I believe she might have dragged that pivot foot. But again, she's got a lot of moves in the paint, and that's what makes her a very, very dynamic player.
Vicki Johnson back into the game. Matun Rashay to the bench. The rookie from Texas A&M, another local product here for the Silver Stars.
Okay, you got to watch her on there. That pick and pop. Because as you said before, Ruth Riley has the ability. She's more likely to pop after she sets that screen than she is to dive in, because she can stroke it from the perimeter.
She has the range. Her numbers have been down a little bit of late. Battle with the great lay-in, but back to Ruth Riley. She's had an ankle injury this year. 4 games she's missed with an ankle injury. The Silver Stars in those 4 games, 0-4, and her numbers are down this year. It doesn't seem like she has the jump that she normally does.
Here's, again, Battle actually, after she gets around, she turns the corner, and she's got the face up to the basket. She's very, very strong getting there.
Liberty brought Shamika Christian back in for Lisa Willis. Sophia Young back into the game with the ball for San Antonio. Working on Christian. Great spin move. She can't get it to fall. So Battle's laying the only bucket so far here in the second quarter.
Looking at this New York Liberty team, you gotta love the depth, the ability to bring in players off the bench that are consistent and execute.
And can help players who are in the starting lineup like Janelle McCarville, who also has the range. New York really is an 11-deep team. You don't see that very often.
No, not at all. And in years past, there were times where, particularly when they were really, really hungry for post players, that they really struggle to rotate with the rotation.
Waters gets the bounce. San Antonio is on the board here in the second quarter. It only took 3:25. Battle thought about the 3. Riley checks her. Nobody has her at the free throw line and strokes that.
And again, the way she curls, she's got that athleticism on the rise on the stop and pop. You know, that's her thing. And New York is really right now playing offensively playing to each player's strengths.
Liberty shooting 48% from the floor. San Antonio, who started out, is down to 39. Young doesn't get the foul call. Still screaming about it. And then meanwhile, Battle's on the other side of the floor.
Great defense. And really that turnover caused because Battle was so good and helping out. Oh, that's that extra step.
Too many moves. Tiffany Jackson, too many moves. She's been good in this one. Couple of buckets, but not there. 5:31 to go here in the first half. The Liberty, a 27-23 lead.
If you're fed up with the pump, then meet Chevy's MVPs of MPG. Aveo, HHR, and Cobalt XFE, to name a few. Chevy, 8 models that offer an EPA-estimated 30 miles per gallon highway or better. Get the fuel-efficient 2008 Chevy Cobalt XFE starting at $15,070. Find your nearest dealer on ChevyOffers.com.
Dwayne, you need to dress better, because I'm putting you at my fave 5.
This is great news, Chuck. You would not be sorry. I gotta call my mom, man. She loves you. Ma, this your little Pookie. I got some great news. Yes, Ma, you put me in. Yes, Chuck.
Dwayne, Pookie? Nobody named Pookie getting in my fave 5.
Who's in your fave 5?
I'm gonna have to call you back.
What is a Pookie anyway?
I have no idea.
My faves from T-Mobile. Unlimited calls to your 5 favorite people.
My best friend and me. My best friend and me. He's really smart. He's really funny. He sells bikes and he saves people money. My best friend. My best friend and me.
Geico Motorcycle. Let's ride.
In '97, they played the first WNBA game ever at the Garden. In '04, they were the first team to grace the great stage at Radio City. This July 19th, The Liberty make history again with the first ever outdoor professional basketball game at Arthur Ashe Stadium. Witness it live on MSG. Extensive coverage of this historic event gets underway at 7 o'clock. The 2008 Liberty Outdoor Classic, Saturday, July 19th at 7. Live only on MSG.
Saturday, July 19th, watch the Liberty make history when they play the Indiana Fever in the first outdoor professional basketball game. Watch MSG for exclusive coverage of the Liberty Outdoor Classic live from Arthur Ashe Stadium, Saturday, July 19th. Coverage gets underway at 7, only on MSG. And that's something we're counting down to. Of course, we'll be ecstatic to be there at the site of the U.S. Open. Liberty have a couple of games, though, to get to that point and been very balanced in this game. Vera, 16 points from the 5 starters, 11 from the bench, including Ashley Battle and Tiffany Jackson.
And you're looking at Patty Coyle. It's got to feel a little bit like Christmas, all the gifts she gets with the depth on that bench.
Meanwhile, for Dan Hughes here, there has been no gifts, no buckets. 5 points for the Silver Stars in the last 8:49 of this ball game. Make it 7.
Well, since the first quarter, they went 1 of 7. Now 2 of 8, I believe.
And Ann Waters, a huge key to this team. In addition, a spot in the middle that, like when they go right now with Ruth Riley and Ann Waters on the floor at the same time, you have size that pretty much no other team, maybe save for Los Angeles with Parker and Leslie, can match in the middle.
Exactly. And Christian, she's got a very interesting move where she tries to rotate back to one shoulder and she fakes and goes back the other way. It really makes defenses look, quite honestly, ridiculous.
She's got 4 points in this game. Remember, she's been averaging 22 in her last 6. Went for the steal there. Waters the triple. She triggers in and out. And the rebound for Lori Moore.
Again, pushing tempo.
Battle a little out of control, loses it, ties it up. This will be one that will be very interesting to see. Ashley Battle and Ruth Riley.
Check this out. Shamika Christian, I'm going back this way. Just kidding. Watch the stop and pop. And again, just makes defenses look absolutely ridiculous.
And then when you add her ability to hit from beyond the arc, she is very difficult to guard. Battle at 6 foot, Riley at 6'5". Barely had to jump to win the tap, but knocked it out of bounds. So by Wade, New York wins the tip. There's another one of those gifts that Patty Coyle will take.
Yes, that's it.
A 4-point lead here with 4:20 to go in the first half. Cravel, Jackson, Battle, Moore, and Christian. Cravel with 8 to shoot, puts it up, it's short. Waters the board.
Cravel finding it a little difficult to get her shot off with Ann Waters stretching out those long arms.
Hammond back in the game. Moore tries to save it. It's right to Waters off the tip.
That was easy.
Yep. 8 points, 5 rebounds for the former first overall pick back in 2000 for the Cleveland Rockers. Pen to shoot for the Liberty. Janelle McCarver will check in at the next whistle. Christian, the up and under move, short. Gets her own board, puts it up, and gets the foul. So there's the move again, the extra shake, and now she's got 2 free throws.
Yeah, well, that scoop had a broken handle on this time, but she was able to go back and follow it up. And again, that's what makes her so dynamic, that ability to create. She just makes up stuff. Never saw a shot she didn't like, but she goes after it. Persistence pays off.
So Christian at the free throw line, which in this stretch may be the only weakness that she's had in the last 6 games because she hasn't had any other, but her free throw shooting has struggled of late. She's down to just 75%. Earlier in the year, up around 85%.
She's got that blue-collar work ethic. She wants to work for it. She's not taking advantage of the free stuff. Give me the free stuff.
We'll take you somewhere to get free stuff later. 1 for 2 on the free throw line. New York with a 3-point lead here in San Antonio. McCarville in for Jackson. You see Hammond, Darling, Waters, Riley, and Young, the 5 for San Antonio. The block and Christian way ahead. Darling, a good job to get her hand in and back on defense, but it'll stay with New York.
And again, the focus is get the ball up the floor. And McCarville just really took that as by any means necessary.
She'll take it.
Yes, I'm going to throw it.
Only 6 turnovers for the Liberty. Christian off the mark on the 3, and so far New York has struggled from beyond the arc, just 1 of 7. Trapping Darling, trying to get it through, and does to Young. Hammond leans back, misses that. San Antonio in this quarter, just 6 points. Liberty's defense has been outstanding. Moore fouled by Darling. The only question is, will they give her the shot? And yes, they will. So she'll go to the free throw line when we come back. An official timeout here in San Antonio. The Liberty have worked their way to a 3-point lead on the end of this road trip.
This is a call from the Crave. You know what this is about. White Castle bacon cheeseburgers, chicken sandwiches, jalapeno cheeseburgers, or get the original steam grilled slider at a great price. You know you want to. You just got a call from the Crave. Don't just sit there. Answer it.
There is only one triple play where your HD experience is free. Where internet access is up to 5 times faster than phone company high-speed internet. Yeah. Only one triple play where you get unlimited calling with 13 calling features included. IOTV, Optimum Online, Optimum Voice. Just $29.95 a month each when you get all 3. This is the Optimum triple play.
Hi, everybody. I'm Boomer Esiason. Coming up on the next Boomer Esiason special, we're going to talk with this lady right here, Carol Blazejowski of the Liberty. You ready to go one-on-one?
Anytime.
Former Liberty greats, current Liberty greats, all on the next Boomer Esiason special. Join us, only on MSG.
On the premiere of New York City Soundtracks, meet the competition.
I went to the Peabody Conservatory.
Back home, I used to be a preacher.
One important question, do you like it or do you love it?
16 musicians, only one will rise to the top. Sundays on MSG.
Well, we may be in San Antonio, but coming up at the half, we'll take you back to Patterson, New Jersey, Rosa Parks High School, Essence Carson's old stomping ground. Told you how talented she is throughout the year. We're going to tell you and show you just what that means coming up at the half. And don't forget, also coming up at the half, we'll see what this road trip has been like off the court. Lisa Willis, a camera behind the scenes look at the Liberty. And of course, first half highlights and analysis here. Lori Moore at the free throw line, knocking down the first. The Liberty Bureau with a 4-point lead over San Antonio, a team that has lost just once on its home floor. What has impressed you the most so far about this first half?
Well, like I said early on, just the tempo that both teams are really looking to push and take advantage of transition baskets. But right now, one team has emerged slightly better than the other, and that has been New York, has been a little more consistent.
Moore looking for the swipe, but just got the body of Sophia Young.
Well, that's a foul. That's what they call that.
Well, you're going to agree with the officials, so whatever they say the rest of the night is okay. Pusher, Waters, Hammond, Darling, and Young, the 5 on the floor for San Antonio, trying to get out of this offensive funk. Just 3 of 13 from the floor in the second quarter.
Little weave action, but New York doing a really good job of getting through screens, moving laterally.
And another good job of forcing San Antonio to use the entire shot clock, and Darling put it off the side of the backboard.
Darling actually had an air ball earlier, so she's definitely off tonight.
Just a 26% shooter, so she is not their go-to offensive weapon.
That's what she's in for.
Absolutely.
Right there.
Leadership and defense. Young down the lane, leaving it for Waters. She has been the only offensive standout for San Antonio here in the first half.
She's
10 points.
She's such a target in the middle, but Waters has the ability to step out, and I mean, she likes to face up, and she's pretty agile in the paint. So she'll give a good target hand looking for the lead to the basket, and they seem to find her.
Becky Hammond told us before the game that New York fans who may remember seeing her for a couple of years in New York, when they see her tonight, they're going to be so much more impressed with what she can do now than what she did 3 years ago in New York.
And she's always been relatively talented. I remember when she first came to New York, and it was like, wow, she's going to be really, really good. And I think she's had an opportunity to grow here.
Averaging 15 points and 7 rebounds a game. Took the last 2 years off to try and help Belgium qualify for the Olympics. The country did not. And now she's happy to be back in the WNBA. And here rejoined with Becky Hammond, who she also plays with overseas in Moscow. Hammond there with the foul, trying to go with the steal.
Of course, Dan Hughes, as well as Becky Hammond, not happy about that call. Hammond certainly thought she gave great help side. We're gonna have a debate, a little stare down.
But you said whatever the official said tonight was right, so that had to have been a foul.
Yeah, you gotta go with that. Let's just go with that.
McCarville good on the first. 5 points and 5 rebounds for Janelle here in the first half. Knocks them both down. The Liberty from the line, 5 of 6 here, and a 5-point lead with a minute 25. And that full court press is something that has worked for them all season, but they lay back this time.
Carson, athletic enough to, I was about to say, however, you got to remember what we said. It's either Sophia Young or Becky Hammond.
And they can explode.
That's right, and they look for each other. And again, 2 out of every 5 shots, they're taken.
Yep. The steal from Waters to Hammond, and it's only a 3-point game, 50 seconds to go. San Antonio can tie with a triple. Young, blocked by Crayveld, gets it back though. 7 to shoot. Hammond looks up, pops the long 3, way off. Waters crashing for the rebound.
Good job from Waters, really getting in. Really, she's been the X factor. We talked about her in the beginning of the game. And we talked about Young and Hammond, who just look for each other again. But really, that third scorer, and Waters, is the one that you have to keep an eye on.
Well, it's the only team in the WNBA with 3 scorers in the top 20, that being Hammond, Young, and Waters. Young at the free throw line, 7 points and 3 assists here in this ball game, coming off a 23-point performance on Sunday. 2-time All-Star. This just her 3rd year in the league. Out of Baylor, where she won a national championship in 2005. Knocks them both down. Liberty's lead down to 1. Very good defensive second quarter after what was a tremendous offensive first quarter. About a 1-second differential, play clock, shot clock. Christian, she's been quiet in this first half, trying to get by Pusher. 4 to shoot. Oh, gets her off her feet. What a move, and puts it in. What a move by Shamika Christian. 4 to shoot for Becky Hammond. Christian has her at the line, has to heave, but fouled by Essence Carson. Bailed out by the official, but they're going to give her 3 shots on the floor. Essence Carson couldn't believe it. Let's take a look at it one more time. The game clock was winding down. Hammond initiated contact, but gets the call. Now, the officials are just going to check to make sure she got the shot off, and the foul was called before the clock hit 0. That's what they're looking at right now. This angle should tell us. There's Hammond, about 1 second on the clock. Gets it off. The red light has not gone off. That will be a foul, and that will be 3 shots. That's what the officials are looking at, but clearly Hammond got the shot off before the red light went off. So bailed out of a quarter in which San Antonio scored just 12 points, and the Liberty had the momentum. Shamika Christian had a great shot, but now with a chance, thanks to that call, And that play by Becky Hammond to draw contact and force the official to either make the call or not make the call, which they're still conferring about right now. But here it is. She is going to get 3 shots. And they're going to put 0.4 seconds back on the clock. Although Patty Coyle, when she heard that news, didn't really seem to care. She was upset about the fact that it's a foul call in the first place. So Becky Hammond will go to the free throw line, the best free throw shooter in the WNBA at 95%. Went an entire month of this season without missing a free throw. So 3 shots here, a chance to tie it up. Seven points on the game for Hammond. The Silver Star shooting just 37%. But we could be all knotted up just like we were at the start of the game and just like we were at the end of the first quarter. Hammond knocks down all 3. We're all tied up at 36. A chance for a heave. The Liberty aren't going to take the chance. And so we're tied at 36 here, heading to the locker room. Maybe a disappointing score with the fact how well the Liberty played defensively in this first half. Tiffany Jackson coming back home has played well off the bench, not only scoring, she does have 4 points, and they were 4 straight points, helping the Liberty on an 8-0 run inside and outside. She also has 5 rebounds in 8 minutes, so she has been very productive, and she is standing by here at the half. 36 all apiece, standing by with Vera.
Tiffany, obviously a really weird ending there to the first half, but a good pace for this team. How much of the emphasis has been push the ball?
That's one of our things that we want to do every game. That's what we focus on, pushing the ball. We feel that we're best in transition.
You came out, shot with confidence, and brought a little light to the team. Is that because your mom's watching?
It may have a little to do with that. No, but I just know my role coming in. I just want to come in and make an impact.
All right, and you did just that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vera. The home cooking, the home crowd for Tiffany Jackson, and all knotted up here in the state of Texas at 36 apiece. Coming up at the half, we're going to show you once again the other side of Essence Carson. What can she do off the basketball floor? Meanwhile, we'll show you what the Liberty also did on the road trip thanks to Lisa Willis. It's 36 all apiece at the half. Plenty coming up at the half here on MSG.
Babe, look, this sounds perfect. Low mileage, loaded, must sell. Best offer accepted? This one's a real classic. A real classic.
Shopping for a pre-owned car? Press 888 on your Comcast digital remote and view Honda Civics, Chevy Malibus, and BMW's any price, make, or model. Searchlight, channel 888, available on demand from Comcast, the place to find your next pre-owned car.
Employers, are you looking to hire the best and brightest throughout New Jersey? Come discover what thousands of New Jersey employers already know. That WorkJersey.com is the easiest way to hire throughout New Jersey. With WorkJersey.com, you can quickly fill positions at any level. Whether you need a bookkeeper or a bus driver, a mechanic, or a marketing director, you'll find them on WorkJersey.com. Thousands of local job seekers are online every day, and we can help you find them. Come to WorkJersey.com and post your new job opening today.
I'm walking right now. The new Bridezillas are coming to Channel 1 on demand from Comcast. I'm the bride. Don't miss a moment because this season, the family... I'm not buying her a new dress. ...fights back. I'm not happy. Let them speak now or forever hold their peace. Premiere episodes every Sunday night at 9 on WeTV. Go to Channel 1 On Demand to watch it anytime the day after it airs from WeTV On Demand and Comcast Digital Cable.
In today's world, it's hard to find ways to save, but Comcast makes it easy. Call now and you could have Comcast Digital Voice installed within the next 72 hours. For just $24.95 per month, get unlimited local calling, plus great features like caller ID and more. And savings on long distance. Comcast Digital Voice Local with more. Just $24.95 per month every month. Save over 38% over Verizon. Call 1-800-COMCAST now and you could get installed in the next 72 hours.
Halftime here in beautiful San Antonio, the Riverwalk, the heart of the city here in the middle of Texas. Fans, reserve your seats for the first outdoor pro basketball game ever, Saturday, July 19th at 7:30 at Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens. Tickets available online at nyliberty.com, by phone at 877-WNBA-TIX, or at the Garden box office. Don't miss the Liberty Outdoor Classic. All right, earlier this season, we introduced you to Essence Carson, told you all about her talents. Let's take you back, though, to where it all started, Rosa Parks High School in Paterson, New Jersey.
To get into this high school, you had to audition. So I was really nervous about the audition, but then, you know, once I got word back that, you know what, I made it in, and, you know, I did really well on my audition. I was just like, wow, you know, I'm working with something here. Maybe if I continue to, you know, to practice and get and really have that determination and just that mindset, like, you know what, I'm going to get better, that, you know, I can go somewhere with this. Every morning I got to wake up and do something that I love. You know, come to school, play piano, you know, participate in, you know, all the musical activities. Since it's a small school, I mean, it was just like, you know, another family. You know, I mean, it's a really small school, really small school. The principal, wonderful. I mean, all the teachers here, definitely always encouraging and looking to push and move you forward. I mean, and that's the attitude around here, just to be determined. And that's exactly what I used to love about this school.
She, in her own right, is an icon, because for her age bracket, to want to master multiple things, and I don't even know if she wanted to. It might have just been a case that it was there, and she just did it. It's just a case of focus, dedication, and it's a blessing. It truly is a blessing.
We used to, like, you know, just a class full of piano majors, and then we used to just play like music like on our breaks or whatever. We just used to come around and just like, hey, I can play this. Oh well, I can play something better. I can play this. And then, you know, we move over into the jazz lab, and then like, hey, look, can you play this? And then we, you know, we kind of compete. So then, like, along the way, you kind of, you know, build up your repertoire. It's like what type of music you play. Someone calls you out and challenges you one-on-one. You know what? At that time, you look at them like, wow. If I turn down this challenge, then everyone's gonna look at me and say, you know what, you're really not what you said you were, or you know what, I'm gonna take this challenge, and if I go down, I'm gonna go down fighting, and I'm gonna let everyone know that, you know, I'm one of the best out there. It applies the same way in music. You know, you may not be able to do the same thing as someone else may be able to do, but you know what, I'm gonna take what I know and what I can do, and, you know, make the best of it.
A phenomenal talent on and off the court. Meanwhile, Lisa Willis, one of the team comedians. So what did she come up with when we gave her a camera to show us around her hometown? Let's see what Lisa could do. Home video style, she takes us to Long Beach, Culver City in Los Angeles next.
If you're fed up with the pump, then meet Chevy's MVPs of MPG. Aveo, HHR, and Cobalt XFE, to name a few. Chevy, 8 models that offer an EPA estimated 30 miles per gallon highway or better. Get the fuel-efficient 2008 Chevy Cobalt XFE starting at $15,070. Find your nearest dealer on ChevyOffers.com.
On the premiere of New York City soundtracks, meet the competition.
I went to the Peabody Conservatory.
Back home, I used to be a preacher.
One important question, do you like it or do you love it?
16 musicians, only one will rise to the top, Sundays on MSG.
What started under the glare of bright lights and cameras now moves to where it matters most, the hardwood. MSG has your exclusive first look at the new Knicks with interviews, insider access, and plenty of action. Live at the Vegas Summer League, Monday at 4 on MSG.
This copyrighted telecast of WNBA Enterprises may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise used in any form without the express written consent of WNBA Enterprises.
Here in San Antonio, tied at 36 at the half, the end of a 12-day road trip, one that started in Sacramento and then moved its way to Los Angeles, the hometown for Lisa Willis. So what happened when we gave her a camera? Let's find out. Let's go behind the scenes with Lisa Willis.
We're here in Sacramento, and
We have Catherine.
Morning.
And Megan Duffy.
Good morning.
We're waiting to go to LA.
Approaching the security check.
I'm really excited about going to LA because
are very sensitive.
that's where I'm from. Jessica, can you say hi to the camera? Leilani, say hi to the camera.
Hey, camera. This is Super Mario.
Super Mario.
The new Super Mario.
Oh, the new one, not the 1990 one.
They've lost 5 of my men already.
We are now going to LA. You see how it says on time? That's because we're on the West Coast. We're not at JFK, where everything is like behind 10 hours. Los Angeles, 10:01. We'll be there on time. Good old LA. You see the trees. It's not raining because it's summertime, though it rains in the summer in New York. This is awesome. Home, sweet home.
It's so much drama in the
LBC, it's kind of hard being Snoop D-O-double-G, but okay, so we're in LA, and apparently they're trying to get signed. You guys do realize if you make it to Hollywood, you need to know the words?
Auditions are starting. Do not be late for my auditions. Up next, we have Lisa Willis and Ashley Battle. This will be an everlasting love. Oh, yes, it will. Here it goes. Here it goes. I never did.
Yes, you are.
I thought I was caught up.
If you
to my satisfaction. Expect great.
Yeah, we'll get a commercial real soon. That's why they didn't pick none of us. Here's Marina Del Rey. We're here. So it's time to go. Bye-bye. So now we're in Culver City, walking. About to go to one of my favorite chicken places. It's called Honey's Kettle. The chicken is pretty good, but I'm really here for the biscuits. Okay, now check this out. 2 nice melt-in-your-mouth biscuits. This meal, fit for a queen. Long Beach, that's my neighborhood. We're on the good old 405. Heading home to see the fam bam. All right, so now we are at the Willis residence. Mama! Here's my mom.
Oh, that's right. Hi.
Here's my mom. This is the house.
Oh, that car is tight.
Here's my dad. He likes when you call him Kabooby. Kabooby!
What's up, Willis?
How are things?
I'm just happy to see my girl. I thought you got your hair done.
Yep, this is my little corner that my mom totally says she's gonna take down. It's cool though.
Little Lisa! My princess!
Robin!
Hey, Lisa!
How are things? Hope you enjoyed the time that we spent, the little bit of time that we spent in SAC, and the time that we spent in my wonderful hometown, LA, or Long Beach. Now we're in Seattle, and it's time to say goodbye. But thanks for kicking it with us, with me and the team. And see you next time. See you back at the Garden.
It's the New York Knicks Groove Truck present.
Want to watch a hit movie right now? It's easy. Just go to Channel 1 On Demand from Comcast. Select movies and events and choose your program. Too complicated? Just ask a 12-year-old to do it for you. Channel 1 On Demand. Thousands of programs, a huge variety, even movies in HD. Check it out today.
Employers, are you tired of sorting through piles of out-of-state resumes? Come discover what thousands of New Jersey employers already know, that WorkJersey.com is the best way to hire in the New Jersey area. If you want to hire someone from Seattle, Chicago, or any other city, then post your job on a national site. But if you're looking for the best and brightest from the New Jersey area, and you want to find them right now, post your job on WorkJersey.com. We're local, we're easy to use, and we can save you over $200 per job opening. Come post your job on WorkJersey.com.
The bucket list. A list of all the things to do before we kick the bucket.
You only live once.
We can put some moves on.
So don't think twice.
I hate your rotten
Jack Nicholson.
Wish I'd met you before we were dead.
Morgan Freeman.
You got nothing! Got enough for you?
The Bucket List. Hit movies without the trip to the video store. On demand with Comcast Digital Cable.
How much are you paying for Verizon phone service? Think about it. Now you can get phone and internet from Comcast for one low price. $49.90 a month, every month. Introducing the new Everyday Double Play from Comcast. Get phone and internet together for just $49.90 per month, every month. 2 great services for less than you might be paying for Verizon phone service. An offer this good doesn't come along every day. Until now. Call 1-800-COMCAST and save big.
What's this?
It's the Golden Compass.
What's it for?
This compass points directly to adventure. Don't miss the Golden Compass. Hit movies without the trip to the video store. On demand with Comcast Digital Cable.
Welcome back at the half. Nick DiPillo, please talk to us about how big that last foul was, and did that change the locker room speech?
A little bit. You know, we went from being up 3 with them having the ball coming out. Now it's a tie game. I think it gives them a little bit more momentum. We just got to be a little smarter and not put ourselves in that type of position, you know, late clock situation.
Struggling a little bit on the perimeter. How much of an adjustment do you need to make there?
Not so much. I think we're doing a good job playing inside out. I think we have good balance. The 7 threes we've taken have been pretty much good ones. You know, we're a good three-point shooting team, and we expect most of those to go down in the second half.
Transition has been good, but how much do you have to stop theirs?
A lot. We settled down after the first timeout. We really lowered their shooting percentage, I think, down to the low to mid-30s. You know, if we can take away their transition game and make them try to beat us in half court, we should be all right.
Okay. Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Back to you, Jason.
Vera, he's right. They are a good three-point shooting team, second best in the WNBA, but in this game, just 1 of 7. You see the first half stats knotted up at 36. Look at the one at the bottom, though. 11 points off the bench for the Liberty, 0 for San Antonio. Vera talked a couple of times in the first half about how it's Sophia Young, Waters, and Hammond, the big 3. They have 28 of the 36 points for San Antonio, and just shooting 37% from the floor are the Silver Stars. All right, let's take a look at the IO digital replay. Do you see in HD? And it's all about Shamika Christian, the Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Take a look at this fake on Ann Waters.
Hello. That's just pretty. I mean, after that, what do? You look over at the coach and go, I might need a sub. I've got a little embarrassment going on.
I don't think Ann Waters saw that in HD, because she had to have seen a blurry vision just go right by her as she saw it. All knotted up at 36. San Antonio will get the ball to start the second half. The starters on the floor for both teams here in a game that has been very evenly played throughout. The only difference, the bench points, but in terms of the scoreboard, that has not made a difference.
Sure. And as Coach Nick DiPillo talked about, that last 3, those last 3 shots.
Maybe Becky Hammond just made up for it. She had a 5-second call trying to get it in bounds and gave the ball away.
Poetic justice.
How about New York starting the second half with the full court pressure right out of the gate? Carson, foot on the line, just the 2. Hammond there for the rebound. Adjustments, Vera, second half. What are you thinking?
Well, just like you said, I mean, they're getting the looks on the inside out. Obviously, they've got to knock down shots on the perimeter. But defensively, they've got to make sure that they are getting back in transition, and they have to continue to push. That is the point of focus. They just scored there.
And defense can lead to offense for this team very well. Essence Carson, one of the key players defensively for the Liberty with the steal and the hoop. 38-36 in San Antonio. Carson another steal and followed by Young.
Love the grit and determination from Carson. Just steps in here. Determined not to let she sacrifice her body before she'll let go of that basketball.
That's 3 straight possessions for San Antonio with a turnover. The first foul on Sophia Young. Carson takes it herself. That's off. Waters pulls down another rebound. She's approaching a double-double with 8 boards.
Again, that's that transition. You see, they wasted no time to hurry up and try to get the basketball up the floor. New York recovering there. But if they're not careful, that could turn into some quick baskets for San Antonio.
And that's off Becky Hammond, though. So that's 4 straight possessions for Dan Hughes' club with turnovers and now 9 on the ball game. McCarville has Waters on her, has the speed, but stepped on the baseline. She certainly has the speed over Waters, but Ann Waters definitely has the length advantage. Be an interesting matchup here to watch in the second half if that one plays out. Starting five on the floor for San Antonio: Johnson, Busher, Young, Waters, and Hammond. Young on McCarville, right to the rack, puts it in with the right hand.
And again, that's that athleticism from Sophia Young. That's what makes her difficult to guard on the inside. And again, her ability to put the ball on the floor from that post position. You know, you have to be a post playing more like a guard when she's got the ball in her hand.
There's the turnover for the Liberty. Hammond up forward. Now McCarville finally gets back. And Sophia Young with the turnaround. When she gets going.
And she uses Shamika Christian's move right on her. How about that? I like your game. In fact, I'm going to beat you with it.
And another turnover for the Liberty. But look at Crayville taking right back. Carson wide open, right at Waters.
Wow, almost too open. And again, she anticipated the defense. And that's why you can't think about the D. Shoot the ball.
The length of Ann Waters, just the fact that she was standing there, got in the way.
How about, okay, here's Hammond on the push. Little ball handle. But this is the look here. Look at this with the fake and the turnaround. That is a Shamika Christian move if I've ever seen it. Sophia Young says I can do it too.
Lisa Willis is checked in the game for Essence Carson. Willis had a 3 off the bench in the first half. And look at San Antonio just throw the ball
Very
away.
rattled.
Absolutely. Look at the turnovers this quarter. 6 for San Antonio in the first 2:20 of the third quarter. But the Silver Stars do have a 2-point advantage. 2.5 minutes gone by here in the third quarter.
New York off of that double stagger. That's the shot Lori Moore's got to take and make.
Still struggling on this road trip from the floor. Johnson pushes it up. Great move on Willis. Can't complete the play, but will go to the free throw line.
Vicki Johnson on transition for all the New York players. Hasn't lost a step. And here's an injury.
That's Lisa Willis.
She might have, oh yeah, she caught an elbow right to the face. Vicki Johnson elbow.
Shaking it off, as you said, right to the face. Johnson in the first half, just 2 points. Now has 3. Fans tonight at 10:30, Carol Blazejowski talks Liberty basketball on a special edition of the Boomer Esiason Show. Plus hear from Essence Carson and Janelle McCarville on the upcoming Outdoor Classic. Much more on the Boomer Esiason Show tonight at 10:30 here on MSG. She missed the second. It comes out to Leilani Mitchell into the game for the first time since the first quarter. Lori Moore has taken a seat.
We talk about the depth of New York. 8 of 9 scorers have scored. Leilani Mitchell, the only one of the 9 players that has not. But again, she's there to set people up just like that.
What a pass to Crayville, who also hasn't gotten going in this ball game either. Now just 6 points, but she has been someone who has scored at least 11 in 4 of the last 5. Hammond, ooh, looked like she took an extra step, nothing called.
Like roller skating.
But another turnover. That's 7 this quarter for San Antonio.
I know Dan Hughes has got to be thinking about that TO.
More in the first 3.5 minutes than in the first half.
Holy
look at Christian.
Cow and chicken. Beautiful shot.
Do those two go together?
Chicken goes with everything. You're obviously not a cook.
Clearly not. My fiance does the cooking in the house. Young working on Crayville. San Antonio with 8 turnovers in the third quarter, and they're a terrible shot. But 3 Liberty players knock it out of bounds.
And again, we talked about the scorers, but how about the people that make the scorers better? Leilani Mitchell, this is what she contributes to the game. Threads that needle inside to Crayville. That's just a beautiful look, and that's what a point guard's supposed to do.
Yeah, balanced scoring and their balanced delivery. Lori Moore has done a good job of that in this game as well. And really on the entire road trip, these 2 point guards have done a very solid job for Patty Coyle. The shot clock winding down again. Hammond hit nothing. Now barking at the official. But a 24-second violation.
A lot of that, but, you know, credit New York with the defensive intensity, rattling Becky Hammond a little bit. They're constantly in her face. She's not able to get that shot off.
McCarville tried the curl. Christian forced it in there. A turnover for the Liberty. So it was a relatively clean first half. It's gotten sloppy here both directions in the second. Hammond certainly has the range, but has Willis's hand directly in her face. Good crossover dribble, trying to get into the lane. Puts it up and in.
Becky Hammond using her body to get into the paint. And again, when the chips are down, expect Hammond to create.
She now has double figures with 11. McCarville, that's off the rim, and Hammond pulls down the rebound. Almost threw it away.
Well, that was a collision waiting to happen.
It's like an illness right now, Vera. It's contagious. Everybody giving the ball away for San Antonio. Young driving on Willis and the foul.
That's a good move. Good, strong move to the basket. New York, no answer. And again, Sophia Young, there's a little mismatch down here. Willis doesn't have, may have thought about having the athleticism, but she does not have the size on the rise.
Does not, and the Liberty don't have the lead anymore. San Antonio, 45-43.
I got good news. Putting you in my fave 5.
This is real?
Yep. You in, baby.
Call me anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah, I watched the game from last night. Yes, sir.
You got to pass the ball more.
Now, I'm really in the middle of something.
I don't want to look too fat in high definition. You ever been to Amsterdam? That's why I don't eat shrimp. I want to come visit because I am really bored.
What is it, Chuck?
What, Chuck?
Hey, Chuck.
Call me back. We got a lot to talk about.
Who's in your Fave 5? My fave's from T-Mobile. Unlimited calls to your 5 favorite people.
Valero and FoxSports.com team up to give you the chance to win the ultimate tailgate party for 10 with tickets to see your favorite football team, the ultimate in tailgating gear, Valero gas, and more. Log on to FoxSports.com/Valero to enter. Valero, the all-American gasoline for the great American highway.
At eHarmony, we match you with other singles based on compatibility. And the best part is, you can review your matches absolutely free. Aren't you curious to see who you'd be matched with? Log on and review your matches for free. eHarmony.com.
Want to send congratulations to one of our colleagues here at MSG and another one of the voices of the New York Liberty, the coach, Jonathan Coachman, and his wife, Amy, on the birth of their first child, Kayana Lee, a beautiful baby girl, very healthy, 9 pounds, 3 ounces. And I haven't had a child. That seems like a very long baby as well, 21 inches.
She could be starring in the league soon.
Proud parents back in New York. Congratulations to them. Coach will be back doing a Liberty game on Saturday as the Liberty head home to play the Detroit Shock back at the Garden. But they have business to take care of here, trying to end this 5-game road trip with a winning record. 2-2 so far, down by 2 points here. Sophia Young now with 16 points.
Yeah, they want to get a win. They're going to have to get a handle on her.
Absolutely. She's got 7 here in the third quarter after having 9 in the first half.
New York, once ahead in the rebounding column, suddenly finds themselves behind. Remember the little lecture about possessions.
Christian hard to the bucket and hard to the floor, and earns herself a trip to the free throw line. The foul's on Becky Hammond.
Again, she tries to get in on that penetration. There's a little push from behind. Christian goes down hard.
change that foul to Aaron Busher picked up the foul. Nobody in foul trouble for either team. Christian knocks down the first, cut this lead to a 2-point game and give herself 11 points on the ball game.
Very interesting as I'm looking down the stat page and realizing New York only able to connect on 2 of 8 from behind the arc. They send in a 3-point specialist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately has not been up to her normal standards.
But Aaron Thorne is in the ball game for the first time. And you're right, her 3-point shooting is not what it was last year. One of the best in the league last year. This season, hitting just 26%. Sophia Young right back to work under the hoop, but it's knocked away, and Mitchell on the run. Stops for 3, way off the mark. And then back the other way, trying to connect to Hammond, saves it. Mitchell right there to get it. So that's 10 turnovers this quarter for San Antonio.
Transition this time, we'll see. And again, Christian spots up.
She's been the hot shooter, but that time over the backboard.
New York just not able to connect from long range. And again, they're getting really good looks. It's been a relatively off night from there.
It's amazing to look and see San Antonio with 10 turnovers in the quarter. He had a 2-point lead.
Oh, that's just some sleeping going on in that New York defense. Busher sneaking in on the baseline.
Busher approaching double figures as well. She's got 8 in the lead for San Antonio, back up to 4.
New York, running that opportunity for the screener for Christian. She's all over the floor.
Just can't connect. Great look to Young from Johnson. And the foul on Christian, the block.
Oh, interesting to take a look at that. It looked like she got down the floor pretty quickly to establish that position. Get a look here.
That's close.
Tie goes to the to the offensive player, I guess.
Well, if you're going to say tie goes to the runner, Young was the running down the floor.
That's it.
Young connects on the first couple of changes for the Liberty. Tiffany Jackson had a good first half. She sees her first action in the second half. Lori Moore also into the ball game. McCarville, Mitchell, they take a seat on the bench.
Jackson in the game. She came in and sparked a little offense, went 2 of 2, and then grabbed 5 rebounds in a short period of time.
Liberty have been outscored 13-8 here in the third quarter after both teams put up just 15 in the second quarter.
That's a nice dive to the basket. Should be an easy. There we go.
And the foul. The up and under move again. Shamika Christian is putting on a display of talented moves here in San Antonio.
And here's the look. Here's the thing about Shamika Christian. She's constantly on the move. Can't see it from that angle. But she continues to slice and dice through the key, looking for an opportunity. And when she's not doing that, then she's like a little bunny rabbit, just a little Energizer bunny. She constantly moves on the perimeter, looking for a shot.
She's got 14 points in the ball game. The Liberty trying to put on the full court press, but Hammond breaks it with her speed and bumped by Jackson down the floor. That is the 5th foul on the Liberty. So that'll send Becky Hammond to the free throw line, a place where you do not want to put Miss Hammond. Busher takes a seat for Dan Hughes. Waters back into the ball game. Good on the first. Again, Hammond, a 95% free throw shooter, best in the WNBA, and it's not really even close when you take a look at all the people who have put up enough free throws to be in that category. 4-point San Antonio lead. 51-47, under 3 to play here in the third quarter.
Great denial out on the perimeter from Ann Waters. And New York a little stagnant here. They got Craybell waiting up top.
Great move, though, by Jackson, getting some space and putting up the jumper.
And we talked about her spark off the bench. Boy, was it needed.
Good job by Jackson to get back on defense as well, but couldn't do anything with Sophia Young. That is 19 points for Young and 10 here in the third quarter.
And Young is definitely the go-to in the paint for the Silver Stars.
Jackson again.
Jackson.
That's twice in this ball game, Vera, where she has come in and put back-to-back buckets on the board for the Liberty.
Right.
Hammond rattles home a three. No foot was on the line, just a two. 55-51.
It's heating up in here, Jason.
Absolutely. It was like this in the first quarter. We had some struggles in the second and the midway point of the third. But we're starting to get some buckets and points on the board again. Thorne on Darling. Here's the matchup that's been great all game. Christian and Young. Steps back, the three. That's off the mark, and the Liberty still cold from beyond the arc. But Moore tracks it down.
Good hustle for New York, and again, the emphasis on those rebounds. Keep the possessions alive, especially on the offensive end.
Second chance points. Christian into the lane, gets the body, and another trip to the free throw line. Ruth Riley picking up the foul. And so every time they need a bucket, they are going to Shamika Christian.
Well, she's definitely the go-to player for this New York Liberty team. And again, not just that she's the go-to, she's so assertive. She's so not afraid to take the shot.
Patty Coyle has called a 20-second timeout with Christian set to go to the free throw line. Now, one player, the only active player on the Liberty roster in this game that has not played, and that's Jessica Davenport. And we point that out because it's the first time all season that Jessica Davenport has been in the active roster. She's been taking warm-ups here in this game as well. This was before the tip. She's been practicing with the team for a couple of weeks, almost 3.5 weeks now. They've been trying to get her back in shape from the stress fracture in her left leg. Available to play, but has not come into the lineup. But it is good to see last year's second overall pick back and ready for Patty Coyle.
Right, and an interesting dynamic she brings to the game. First of all, with that left hand, and she does have a very decent stroke, 15 feet and in. And her presence at 6'7", she's got a good body size. In fact, coming out of the Big Ten, where she practically dominated in the paint. I'm sure she's itching to be able to show what she can do in this league.
And Vera, you were an assistant at Indiana in Jessica's senior season at Ohio State. What is it about her game that impresses you the most?
Well, you know, the scouting report was don't let her get the ball. At the time, she was averaging about 65% on the inside. She was so consistent, and with her size, like I said, in the Big Ten Conference, it was just amazing what she could do.
Last year, a 45% shooter for the Liberty. Started the first 13 games, and you know Patty Coyle is just itching to get her back. Add that extra body up front. Hammond left wide open.
New York falling asleep on the defensive end. And that's the one thing about Becky Hammond. There's certain players in the league that is just a no-brainer. I don't care what it says on paper. They are the go-to players. They will shoot the basketball and could be deadly.
Remember, they San Antonio had gone on a 3 for 14 stretch. They're now 8 for their last 10. But look at the play to McCarville.
Jackson, again, off the bench. She's come in, she's grabbed rebounds, she scored, and now she's given up beautiful assists to her teammates. Very good all-around effort.
Waters looking for the hot hand. That is Hammond. High up for Waters, but too high. Well, she is tall, just not that tall. Shamika Christian taking a seat, and Ashley Battle in for the final 42 seconds of the third quarter. And Christian has been the key for the Liberty here in the third quarter, keeping them in this ball game. McCarville cut off on the baseline by Water. The turnaround jumper. Darling pulls down the board.
New York not taking the ideal quality shots and also shooting the ball with no rebounders.
About a 3-second differential, shot clock and play clock. Hammond eyeing Moore, gets the screen from Riley, wide open, top of the key, absolutely. She can hit it, she just doesn't. Waters tracks it down. The high arc of the rainbow, no, there's a Toon Richey.
Rebounds.
But they couldn't put it in. bunnies under the basket, but falling short. And the Liberty only trail by 3 heading to the 4th.
It's high.
Baseball's biggest bats slug it out for the long ball crown in the final season in the house that Ruth built. The 2008 State Farm Home Run Derby, Monday, July 14th at 8 on ESPN and ESPN HD.
ESPN, serving sports fans around the world.
Brought to you locally by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. On the web at searchmercedes.com.
Do you suffer from painful, irritating hemorrhoids? You are not alone. 80% of Americans suffer from hemorrhoids. Now you can join the thousands who have found immediate relief with a painless, non-surgical treatment that doesn't put you out of commission, requires no anesthesia, and produces immediate relief from the bleeding, itching, and discomfort associated with hemorrhoids. The Hemorrhoid Relief Center's doctors utilize new state-of-the-art technology that will get you back to work the same day. This simple in-office procedure can start changing your life. Don't suffer any longer. Call and schedule an appointment today.
Proactive Solution has good news if you have a difficult pimple or sudden breakout and can't find relief. Because when you order now, you'll get the exclusive refining mask free with your 3-piece kit. Just a dab, and the mask is designed to zap problems. It's fast. It's dramatic.
I put it on in the evening before I go to bed, and when I wake up in the morning, you don't have acne. That's a good feeling.
It works the fastest. It's potent. It's like my little skincare army.
Call now and order the amazing Proactive Solution to heal your acne and help prevent future breakouts. You'll save 50% on Proactive when you order in the next 4 minutes, just $19.95.
For on-the-spot pimple control, I use the refining mask. Just a little dab, that's all you need.
It's a Proactive Best product, and it's part of Proactive's Best offer. Don't just dream of clear, beautiful skin. Make it real. Order Proactive now and get a free upgrade to priority shipping. Call 1-800-509-7626.
Once again, we're concluding the road trip here in San Antonio. 12 days, 5 cities, 4 states, a ton of miles, and a 2-2 record for the Liberty. And it's a trip that the Twins, if you don't like Twins, you may want to turn around. But this has been a trip for the siblings to take with Patty Coyle and head trainer Lisa White. Their sisters Mary and Michelle, respectively, from left to right, have been on this trip the entire way, and they're finishing it out here in San Antonio as well.
It's difficult to know who you're talking to sometimes. If they dress alike.
They dress alike, they sound alike. Was talking to Mary at shoot-around today, and I could have sworn I was being talked to by Patty Coyle. But they have made the trip. They have enjoyed watching the basketball, and it has been well played for the most part for the Liberty this entire trip. Remember, wins at Phoenix and at Los Angeles. Trying to get one here in San Antonio, 9:45 to do that, down by 3.
Into the matchup zone, they change it, but New York busts it open with Tiffany Jackson. Again, what a contributor she's been off the bench.
And I'll tell you what, Vera, Erin Thorne may not be making her threes, but those assists that she's had in this game, in this quarter, in this second half have been key. Waters there for the rebound, no, but McCarville clears it, and New York can regain the lead.
Transition.
Leaves it for Battle, left open for 3, just rims out. But look at Moore, Sky for another rebound. That's her 6th.
New York has to be very happy with Lori Moore in terms of her decision-making sometimes. Knowing when to pull the basketball out and when to push is one of the toughest things for a point guard to learn.
Battle straight down the lane, but Johnson stripped it away. 7 to shoot for the Liberty, 8:57 to go here in the 4th quarter. Moore the trigger man, Jackson, Thorne, Battle, and McCarville. Battle, hard into the lane, fights it up. No, nothing on the rim. No foul call either. And here come the Silver Stars, although they turn it over again almost. Fight for it on the floor.
Oh my goodness.
It's a rugby scrum down there.
Oh my goodness. And again, this is a chance to capitalize. The numbers 4-on-2.
Oh, great feed from Thorne. Jackson gains control and the lead one more time.
Thorne in the side of San Antonio.
59-58, the Liberty on top. hand check call on McCarville.
And again, the ball all over the place. New York getting down, McCarville getting down on the floor. And Thorne smart enough to get out of there. She sees the floor the entire time. And look at that pass. Ahead to Tiffany Jackson, who scores.
Tiffany Jackson, 6 of 6 from the floor, 12 points to help the Liberty get back in front.
In '97, they played the first WNBA game ever at the Garden. In '04, they were the first team to grace the great stage at Radio City. This July 19th, the Liberty make history again with the first ever outdoor professional basketball game at Arthur Ashe Stadium. Witness it live on MSG. Extensive coverage of this historic event gets underway at 7 o'clock. The 2008 Liberty Outdoor Classic, Saturday, July 19th at 7. Live only on MSG.
Sunday, Ion Television, in the heart of the world's greatest city, sits a witness to history. Relive every thrilling second of glory and triumph. The 50 greatest moments at Madison Square Garden. The countdown continues. Sundays, 6/5 Central, Ion Television.
From a dream, her head was on fire. What was he so nervous? He took her to the park. She crossed her arms and lowered her eyelids. Someday somebody's gonna ask you a question that you should say yes to once in your life. Maybe tonight I got a question for you.
Coming up tonight on MSGNY, we'll hear from the Knicks' #1 pick Danilo Gallinari, plus highlights of the Liberty versus San Antonio. We'll see you later.
The Liberty with a 1-point advantage here in San Antonio, thanks to Tiffany Jackson and also thanks to Shamika Christian. 16 points, 9 of them here in the second half, all coming in the third quarter, and has been a huge spark, Vera, for this team. Really this entire season, but especially the last 6 games.
Well, again, she's just been very confident and consistent. And she credits her teammates who find her. Teammates like Aaron Thorne, who have just does an outstanding job of getting the basketball into the paint. And again, great scrappiness from this team. Thorne having the presence of mind to see all the way up the floor. The look-away pass inside to Jackson. She's been a huge help off the bench.
Absolutely, they both have. The entire Liberty bench has played very well in this game. Young to the rack. Doesn't get the roll, but does get the foul call, and a chance to put San Antonio back on top in a game where we've had 9 lead changes. This could be number 10 if Young hits both free throws.
And one of the things about Young on the drive, she's not afraid to take the contact. In fact, she welcomes it so she can get to the line.
Does hit the first, all knotted up. Fans, reserve your seat for the first outdoor pro basketball game ever. Don't miss the Liberty Outdoor Classic, Saturday, July 19th at 7:30 at Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens. Tickets available online at nyliberty.com, 877-WNBA-TIX, or at the Garden box office. That, of course, against the Indiana Fever. July 19th, and it is quickly approaching. McCarville. The step inside and the foul on Hammond with the reach over.
Lori Moore just set a pick on Ann Waters with her face. I'm sure she's not a... Here's a look there. She just, wow, hey. I don't think she wants that job anymore. Can we run a different play?
Can I please distribute as opposed to getting somebody's way?
Yeah.
McCarville off on the first. 8 points and 6 rebounds in the ball game for Janelle. Still battling that sore finger, a game she hurt in the triple overtime against Indiana, and a game, an injury she had to tape in Seattle, only played 8 minutes. You saw Becky Hammond on the bench, Helen Darling, Vicki Johnson, the two in the backcourt. Sophia Young left open, way off the mark. There's Thorne with the rebound. The little things that Erin Thorne has done in this second half. All knotted up at 60 with 7.5 to go in San Antonio. Jackson into the lane, and a foul called on the floor. That's on Young, just her second.
Good help on the inside from Helen Darling.
Carville has the mismatch, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Moore, wide open, top of the key. Can't find the three, but Thorne there to tip it, just can't control it.
You know, and talking a little earlier to Lori Moore at shoot-around this morning, just saying that she knows she has to make shots. She doesn't have to be the big scorer, but she knows she has to make those open shots, and she's consciously thinking about being more assertive. What a difference this New York team is, or she makes to the New York team when she's able to connect on the perimeter.
She had 12 points in her first game back from the back spasms, but has struggled from the floor since. The foul there, and Waters will go to the free throw line for a pair.
You know, you mentioned the back spasm. She talked about that a little earlier, just when she first came back, just struggling to know exactly how she was going to feel to get back in, but she said, but I'm ready now.
The foul was on Shanika Christian. She's the only person in this ballgame really in foul trouble. She has 4, and really the person that New York can ill afford to lose.
Right.
7:04 to go. Waters connects on both. It's a 2-point advantage. She has 12 points in this ballgame and 10 rebounds, her 5th double-double on the season.
There have been several lead changes. Very close basketball game.
A foul underneath, away from the ball. That is the 3rd on San Antonio. Liberty also with 3 as Crayveld checks back into the ball game. Janelle McCarville gets a quick breather here. Liberty trying to find the mismatch. Moore has Johnson on her. Thorne wide open, great inside look to Crayveld. One more pass to Jackson.
Who's very consistent.
She was 8 for 8 in the game against Phoenix, that 33-point win at the Garden. She is 7 for 7 here. Moore knocks it away.
Great hustle.
Coast to coast, can't get it to go, or the foul. But Thorne gets the foul call, and Patty Coyle is livid. Disgusted that Moore did not get the foul call.
Well, this is a good look. This is just great all-out hustle. Lori Moore and actually Vicki Johnson, a good job just getting a swipe. Great pass down low, and that's the thing about this team, very unselfish. And the chemistry that they seem to know where they each other is, or would that be where each other are?
Waters on Crayveld, can't get, yes she can. Jump the gun.
There's the X factor we talked about earlier. It's been Ann Waters keeping this team alive.
Well, she put the team on her back in the first half, and here in the second has been quiet until the last couple of minutes. Johnson there, the steal and the lay-in, and all of a sudden what was a 1-point advantage for the Liberty is now a 4-point lead for San Antonio. And this crowd is getting into it.
Oh, yeah.
Thorne running the point for the Liberty. Jackson trying to get free down low, can't. Now has it from Christian.
Oh, wow. That handoff didn't have a chance. Busher was right on it, but ends up getting called for the foul instead.
And that is 4 on Busher, and the 4th on the Silver Stars. 4 on the Liberty, 4 on the Silver Stars. So we'll be shooting free throws the rest of this ball game, which will come, or could come into a big part. Jackson finds Moore, left wide open. Just can't connect. The Liberty really struggling from beyond the arc. 2 of 14.
And kind of sagging off on Moore, just kind of letting her take that shot sooner or later.
At Cravo, Christian, the fight and the jump ball. A lot of energy in this ball game.
Holy. I won't add the chicken, but it's been a mess.
Extreme intensity here in San Antonio.
Just intensity, and so you can really see exactly how much fight is in both of these teams right now.
McCarville back in. Crayveld will take a seat. 5:07 here in the fourth. Christian, 6'1". Young, 6'1". Let's jump it up. Tapped up, and Johnson with the speed up ahead of the pack, another way in.
That's one thing about Vicki Johnson, even from back in her days as a New York Liberty. She has an uncanny ability to finish on the drive.
She's got 7. McCarville inside, great look for Jackson. Waters there to flex it. Hammond hit in the face by Christian, and that's huge. Not
Very
only
huge.
for Becky Hammond checking the teeth, but that's 5 on Shamika Christian.
New York can ill afford to lose her at this point. And again, you can just feel the intensity of this game. That was just a simple reach. Christian knew better, tried to get her hand out of the way.
And again, you can't say it enough, in a game that's close, in a game that could come down to free throws, she is not the person you can put on the charity stripe. 95% on the season, and perfect here in this ball game, now with 20 points to lead all scorers. Excuse me, her and Sophia Young have 40 combined, Young with 21. Now Hammond has 20 points. That's what she averaged against the Liberty last year in the 2 games combined. And San Antonio has pushed this lead to 8. And Patty Coyle needs a timeout. Just a 20-second timeout. So we'll keep it right here. The Liberty had the lead at 60-59. It was all knotted up at 62. But San Antonio, thanks to Vicki Johnson, has gone on an 8-0 run.
Well, Vicki Johnson got some a critical steal right in there, and you talk about those little nuances of the game of momentum swings, and that certainly has been one of them that could be key. Then to turn around, Christian getting that foul, putting her in a very bad predicament, and then sending Becky Hammond, the everything free throw shooter, to the line. Definitely changed the complexion of the game.
And let's take a look at what Vicki Johnson has done, especially the last play here.
And that's her with the steal. And then under pressure again on that left-handed drive.
How about this, though, Vera? For San Antonio, 0 points off the bench. All 70 have come from the 5 starters. Young with 21, Hammond with 20. Nothing off the bench, but an 8-point lead. Jackson, Thorne, Christian, McCarville, and Moore, the 5 on the floor for Patty Coyle. Under 5 to go here in the fourth. 2 to shoot. Christian has to fire. Doesn't hit the rim. Shot clock violation, and you know what? That's probably a good thing, because Johnson was off and running again.
Oh, absolutely. She was gone.
Here comes your superstar.
Full court pressure here for the Liberty. Key possession defensively for New York. Silver Stars on an 8-0 run.
Becky Hammond from the off-guard position. They'll be looking to set her up off of screens. Again, ball screen.
Moore with the swipe. Hammond almost got the circus shot to go, but instead again earns another trip to the charity stripe.
And you kind of know when Vicki Johnson kind of releases Becky Hammond from that position, the point position, it's a good chance the ball's coming back to Becky.
Hammond now 8 of 8 from the free throw line. Tonight after the game on MSG, be sure to catch MSG&Y, presented by ChevyOffers.com. Tina Cervasio, Scott Lasky will take you through the show exclusively. Danilo Gallinari, the number 6 overall pick for the Knicks. We'll have an exclusive with the former Italian League star. Yanks and Rays highlights. Huge game at the stadium tonight. And, of course, postgame here of the Liberty and the Silver Stars, all coming up tonight on MSGNY. Sports and entertainment news from the heart of New York. It is a 10-point lead. A foul, though, on Sophia Young, and that is the 5th team foul on San Antonio, so time will stop. Chance for free points.
Did you see how far back Shamika Christian took that shot, though? It was from, like, another arena. And she commanded defense from there. That's respect.
When you're the Eastern Conference Player of the Week and you're shooting 58% from 3 over the last 6 games, you're going to get respect from anywhere on the floor. Tonight, just 5 of 14, but she's trying to cut into San Antonio's largest lead of the game. Hits the first 2 of the 3 at the free throw line.
Still plenty of time for New York to work their way back in, but they are playing from a deficit now, so now that defensive intensity has to be twice as much.
How much of a role, Vera, does it play that they had to come back in LA? They've had to come back in Atlanta. They've had to do it on the road and have done it twice and won.
It totally makes a difference because, like anything else, you learn how to fight back. Resiliency is an awesome thing in this game.
And one of the things San Antonio has learned is how to win at home. 9-1 at the AT&T Center. 5 of those games, of those 9 wins, they've had to come back as well. 7 to shoot, and Dan Hughes needs a timeout. Just a 20-second timeout, 3:35 to go and 7 on the shot clock. What play are you drawing up if you're San Antonio?
Well, I'm going to really go out on a limb on this one.
Let me get. The ball's going to Becky.
Becky Hammond, right. How about that? Although she sets up nice as a decoy as well, and you have Ann Waters who can stroke the basketball, and certainly if he's looking to go inside, which is, I mean, he doesn't need a big shot from the perimeter. It may very well be going to Sophia Young.
Meanwhile, if you're Patty Coyle, what are you defending here? What are you, aside from taking the ball away from Becky Hammond, how do you keep it out of her hands?
Well, I think, obviously, defensive intensity she's been preaching all along. I'm not so sure you change anything in particular. You know, I don't think it's going to come down to we have to switch on every screen or anything like that. It's just get in the passing lanes, deny, and definitely make sure they're getting around those double staggers for Becky Hammond.
Essence Carson, one of the best defensive players on the Liberty, along with McCarville, Jackson, Moore, who is on Hammond, and Christian. 7 to shoot for San Antonio. Johnson to trigger her in.
And there's the over-the-top to Sophia Young, and it works.
Great shot.
And again, Becky Hammond, a major decoy.
Young's got 14 in the second half and 23 in the ball game, and San Antonio back up by 9.
It's a well-used timeout by Dan Hughes.
Christian can't get it to go. Moore crashing the boards. No foul called, but it's off of San Antonio, so New York will keep it and get another 24.
That shot almost, I mean, an off-balance shot would have been amazing if it went in from Shamika Christian.
Moore to trigger it in. There's Christian. Jackson down low, called for the ball, couldn't get it. She's got 14 in this ball game as well. Christian.
She'll get that 3 seconds, she'll get out of there.
Trying to get the bump. What a move by Carson. Just can't connect. Waters knocked out of bounds by Jackson. Now Carson put on a tremendous move, just couldn't connect on the jumper.
The one thing about when you have a really dynamic player about Shamika Christian, especially when it gets close in the end of the game, there's a tendency to stand and watch to see what the superstar will do.
Jackson knocked it out of the hands of Young, but Busher on the race. Up to Waters. Reverse layup.
It's just a beautiful move by Waters. She's been constant and steady for this San Antonio team.
And it's a team that scored on its last 7 possessions. And now Patty Coyle needs a timeout. Just 1 left for the Liberty. It's a full timeout here with 2:42 to go. As San Antonio has pushed its lead to the largest of the game, 76-65.
On the premiere of New York City soundtracks, meet the competition.
I went to the Peabody Conservatory.
Back home, I used to be a preacher.
One important question, do you like it or do you love it?
16 musicians, only one will rise to the top, Sundays on MSG.
What started under the glare of bright lights and cameras now moves to where it matters most, the hardwood. MSG has your exclusive first look at the new Knicks with interviews, insider access, and plenty of action. Live at the Vegas Summer League, Monday at 4 on MSG.
Dwayne, you need to dress better, because I'm putting you at my fave 5.
This is great news, Chuck. You would not be sorry. I gotta call my mom, man. She loves you. Ma, this your little Pookie. I got some great news. Yes, Ma, you put me in. Yes, Chuck.
Dwayne, Pookie? Nobody named Pookie getting in my fave 5.
Who's in your fave 5?
I'm gonna have to call you back.
What is a Pookie anyway?
I have no idea.
My fave's from T-Mobile. Unlimited calls to your 5 favorite people.
Don't forget, folks, tonight after the game, it's MSGNY presented by ChevyOffers.com, and exclusive with Danilo Gallinari. Highlights of the Yanks and the Rays from the stadium. And Essence Carson, hear from her on the show at Rosa Parks High School in Patterson, New Jersey. And, of course, post-game of this one as well. Let's take a look one more time. 76-65, the score. Both teams over the limit. Liberty with 1 timeout. San Antonio has 2 and an 11-point lead.
Here, if you know, first of all, you have to take open shots. There's one right there. But you got to kind of take them quickly. Not rush shots, but you got to be able to get the offense and, again, maximize possessions. The fact that New York has not been able to consistently come up with a 3-point shot is going to obviously be very suspect here at the end of the game, because they're going to have to try to fire their way back in should the time stop being on their side.
2 of 15 in the game. A couple would really help here in the final 2:10. 9-point deficit, 4 to shoot for Hammond. Around the screen, all the way to the hoop. Can't get it to go, but an offensive rebound at the worst time for New York.
And again, the first thing at the top of the show, I'm just huge on that rebound, rebound, because possessions mean everything, especially in 2 teams that like to push the basketball and get out, as these 2 do.
Busher around Christian, and that's a huge bucket.
And that's big. And again, that 1 extra rebound led to another basket.
11 offensive rebounds for San Antonio. McCarville, the jump shot. She's got the hot hand.
And they're setting it up for her. As you saw, Lori Moore set that screen. They're saying, McCarville, go ahead, take that high post jumper, and let's see if we can work our way back in. And again, working not too much time off the clock, whereby here, San Antonio should be letting it run.
That's exactly what they did last time, and then got an offensive rebound. It's down to 5 on the clock again. Busher fires it across for Waters, who's out of bounds. So the turnover, and the Liberty get the ball back down 9. Only a minute 4 to go. Remember, New York with just 1 timeout.
And this is where a 3-point shot starts to come in again. You got to figure out how to get. Well, that's a nice look on the inside, but now they're going to have to press.
That'll help.
Got to get the ball back. Stop the clock.
And if you have to foul, remember, this is not the person you need to do it to. Becky Hammond, 95%. They are not following her. Down to 12 on the shot clock, 43 on the game clock. It's a 7-point game. Now they do foul with 40 seconds to go, but 15 seconds off the shot clock before Becky Hammond draws the foul.
Well, how smart was it at San Antonio? Everyone became a spectator. It was the Let's Watch Becky show. They knew if there's anybody that's going to the line, we're going to let Becky do it, keep possession of the basketball.
An all-around game for Hammond, 22 points, 3 boards, 3 assists. And again, at the free throw line where she is almost automatic. It rolls out.
Announcer's jinx.
Well, I guess if you're 95%, you do have to miss 1 out of 20.
That's it.
Not going to miss the second, though. It's an 8-point game, 40 seconds to go. Patty Coyle wants to advance the ball. And so she uses her last timeout. It is a full. The last one here for New York, down by 8 points to San Antonio. And as you've said, Vera, all game long, the fact that they've been unable to hit from beyond the arc, something that New York has done so well this season.
Right.
39%, second best in the WNBA, but here in this game, just 2 of 15 against San Antonio's defense.
Well, you know what? They came out on fire. They came out aggressive, and it was just a well-fought effort.
And so we'll see what Dan Hughes is discussing to try and stop the Liberty when we come back.
In February 2009, TV stations will broadcast exclusively in digital. Every TV that's hooked up to cable will still work just fine. If you get TV through an antenna, you can still keep your sets working. Just call 888-DTV-2009 to learn about a government coupon program for converter boxes, or visit dtvtransition.org.
Back here in San Antonio, the Liberty down by 8 and out of timeouts. Roy Moore's got to get the ball in. There she does to Christian. McCarville, but Busher read it perfectly, but stepped out of bounds.
McCarville rolled to the basket much earlier. Just New York did not see her fast enough.
Christian off the roll, triggers a 3, can't get it to go. Rebound, McCarville and Carson fight for it. There's the rookie. Christian, way outside.
Wow,
Backs it down.
That is huge. And again, you have a three-point shooter, you're still in the game.
The Liberty had missed their last 8 three-pointers, but Christian from way downtown.
But again, this is smart. Get the ball out, get it to your three-point shooter, and Christian never saw a shot she didn't like. She has the ability to stroke it from there. This was the first miss, but they stayed after the basketball and were smart enough to try again. Persistence pays off.
All right, so Vera, here you go. New York out of timeouts. Shamika Christian tying a personal best with her 620-plus point game with 24 here tonight on 7 of 18 from the floor. The Liberty on a 9-3 run to cut what was an 11-point San Antonio lead down to 5.
Well, here it is. Obviously, defense has got to be critical. Denial on Becky Hammond, because if they're going to try to foul, they don't even want her to get the ball.
They had the switch, but she got it on the handoff.
Got it anyway.
But at least only 0.5 seconds went off the clock. So if you're going to put her on the line, do it without any time going on.
Unfortunately, the law of averages.
She already missed one.
She already missed one, so.
Well, you know what, though? She's
to the line.
She's approaching 20 free throws. Maybe she misses a second one.
Maybe.
11 of 12 at the free throw line. All right, so maybe not that close to 20 free throws, but certainly a disparity. San Antonio now 28 free throw attempts, the Liberty just 16. Moore leaves it for Christian. Another long 3, another bucket.
How about she had practice at halftime, or excuse me, with the half-court shot earlier today, so she's got that long range. In shoot-around, she hit that half-court, the coveted half-court shot that they do. She's got unbelievable range and such confidence in her stroke. She's never taken her eye off of the basket.
So Shamika Christian with 3 of the Liberty's 4 triples in this ball game. Another phenomenal game, 27 points. And let's not forget, she's done most of this here in the fourth quarter with 5 fouls.
Right.
So Dan Hughes in the huddle. He has no more timeouts. 23 seconds to go. His lead is down to 4. Again, is it get the ball to Becky?
The option he has always is that it's either get the ball to Becky or make everybody think we're getting the ball to Becky and get it to Sophia.
One more look at Shamika Christian.
Oh, wow. Just that's impressive. Unfortunately, those threes may have showed up just a little bit too late. Time will still tell. There's enough time in the game to still win it for the New York Liberty.
Now, 11 has seemed to be the magic number. They were down by 11 in the fourth quarter at Los Angeles, came back to win by 11. They were down by 11 in Atlanta in the fourth quarter, came back to win that one as well. Now, they weren't down by 11 this late in the game.
Right.
They are only down by 4 with 23 seconds to go. As you take a look at what Christian has done, 3 of 8 from beyond the arc. The rest of the Liberty have not been much help, just 1.
Well, Christian has gotten just 2 of those just right here towards the late end of this game.
They had the ball in the person's hands who they wanted to foul, that being Sophia Young. But Shamika Christian with 5 fouls couldn't foul her. And so she got it to Becky Hammond, and there you go. And that's exactly what Shamika Christian is telling her teammates right now. Patty Coyle was screaming foul, foul, foul.
Right.
It wasn't.
I can't do it.
Yeah, it was anybody except Becky Hammond, but you need Christian on the floor.
Right. Especially since she's the one connecting on the threes.
Absolutely. Hammond, 26 points, coming off a game in which he had a season-best 28. She also has 27. So Hammond and Christian, the 2 friends, each with 27. But Becky's team on top by 6 here with 18 seconds to go. Christian, the person who has brought this team back, trying for 3 again. No, the rebound out to Carson. Down to 10 on the game clock. Christian again, top of the key. That's short. McCarville the board. Puts it up and in. 3.5 to go. The Liberty have no timeouts left. Hammond gets it. That's going to end the game.
That's tough. Tough finish.
A valiant effort. The comeback comes up just short. Shamika Christian, 1 point off a career high with 27. A career high which she set on this road trip with 28, but her team falls up just short here in San Antonio, 83-79. And so the Liberty fall back to 500, 9-9, and for the 9th straight game, they rotate win-loss, win-loss.
Well, it's obviously they wanted to do a heck of a lot more with this road trip, but it's been tough. There's a lot of parity in this league.
And absolutely, and San Antonio has been phenomenal. San Antonio 13-6 now on top of the West, 5 consecutive wins, and 10-1 here in the Alamo City. Janelle McCarville, she had 15 points to help out, but not enough. San Antonio with its 4th straight win over the Liberty, 83-79 here at the AT&T Center. Got off to a great start. We had a close ball game throughout the entire way, but just not enough of that. Not enough from beyond the arc for the Liberty. Just 4 of 20 from beyond from 3-point range, and they fall 4 points short to San Antonio. Our next game, Saturday night, the Liberty hosting the Shock. The 5-game road trip is over, and we will see you then. For my partner, Vera Jones, I'm Jason Horowitz, and for everybody else here on MSG, we'll see you on Saturday, folks. MSGNY is next. Take care. The Shot